Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
You have failed this city.
Wow. I know. Hey, quit messing around.
I'm not messing around. You're doing important stuff.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me! Who's got you?
It's you, the right. What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
But that is being human.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Slav's Free Talk, the Watchtower. I kind of lost what I was saying there, where we talk all things DC. I'm Slav, and we have a show today. We have things, right? We got stuff about the Batman Part 2. We got Man of Tomorrow discussion. We got Supergirl trailer talk finally. And could the Snyderverse be returning? So we're going to get into all that. Don't worry, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. But with me today... Hey, how's it going? With me today is our good friend, Derpy Entertainment. What is going on, man?
No, Derpy. What's up, guys?
Going on. So, for those of you who are new to the show, this is Slav's Free Talk. This is the Watchtower where we talk DC. And if you want to leave a comment in the comment section. And throughout the show, I will be addressing those comments there. Yeah, you can find us on your podcatching apps after the fact if you can't watch or listen live. So you could do that as well. But I hope you've all had a good week since the last time I was here and talked to all of you. It's been interesting. I have a bit of news right now. I am bringing back my friend Colton and he was my co-host on my old show called Bridging the Geekdoms. We have decided to bring that show back. So you will start to see Bridging the Geekdoms come back up, where we will talk about all things nerdy, geeky, could be technology, video games, movies, television, all that kind of stuff. That's what Bridging the Geekdoms is. So you can find Bridging the Geekdoms on YouTube, and yeah, you'll start seeing shows pop up later this week on that channel. So go subscribe to that and start following us there. But besides that, how are you, Derpy? What's going on?
I'm all right, man. It's been already a busy month of news, and I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, it should be a very exciting time for DC in the very near future, for sure. Indeed. But let's get into it. Let's get in. I see a few people in here. I see what is that? Eric Debunks. He says hi. 392 Boogie says yo. What's going on? Donovan left some comments in here. Said while you've been gone, so many horrible takes have been made on the DCU, which is asinine. Also says really,
we know.
Says also really seemed like Matt is finally going fully mask off and not even caring about the DCU, and it's more funny when he never was a DC fan to begin with. So that is interesting. All right, let's move on to our topics. First up, we have the Batman Part 2. Batman Part 2 has a working title right now. The working title is Semper Vigilance or Vigilance. I don't know. I'm terrible with words. Come on, guys. It also begins filming May 29th or the beginning of June, as being reported otherwise. So some people are taking what this could insinuate for the title. Axel Talks Films over on X said Batman 2's working title translates to always vigilant and ever watchful. The Court of Owls nursery rhyme is beware the Court of Owls that watches all the time, rolling Gotham from a shadow perch behind granite and lime. They watch you at your hearth, they watch you in your bed. Speak not a whispered word of them, or they'll send the talon for your head. So a lot of people are saying, hey, this means it could insinuate that the Court of Owls are absolutely going to be in the Batman Part 2. I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't always take what production titles could insinuate, because, I mean, come on, you go back as the 80s, Star Wars was Blue Harvest. What did that have to do with anything? I mean, you kind of just look at the different things with the production titles. Sometimes they may hint to what the movie is, but other times I think it's just, hey, let's make something up that's similar to this franchise, but not necessarily what the movie's going to be about. I don't know. Look, you guys all know, most of you know that I'm not the biggest fan of Matt Reeves' The Batman. I am looking forward to seeing the second one, but I'm not overly excited. I don't know. What do you think, Derpy? What do you think? Do you think that's what the title of the production title, Semper Vigilance, means? What do you think?
At this point, I think it is, but you never know you never know, because they can change things by the time it releases. But I think that's what it is. It sucks. It's not going to be a part of the DCU. It's just going to be Matt Reeves' version of it.
Yeah.
And this is like the one villain I've always wanted to see on screen. This and Hush. But it like I said, it just stinks it's not going to be a part of the DCU. It's just going to be Matt Reeves' thing. I
mean, I'm happy it's not part of the DCU because, well, I don't like this Batman, but no, I get it. I mean, if it is the Court of Owls, that's cool, because I think that'll be interesting. The Court of Owls have always been a very intriguing type of quote-unquote villain or enemy for Bruce Wayne Batman to go against. And I think it does fit the aesthetic of something that Matt Reeves is making much more than it would be than what is possibly going on in the DCU. So I'm fine with that whole aspect. But along with the Court of Owls and the possibility of the Court of Owls, we've gotten some confirmation of other characters that will be in the movie. This coming from comicbookmovie.com via Deadline. Deadline officially confirmed that Andy Serkis will indeed reprise his role as Alfred Pennyworth, which kind of made sense. Now, we know that he's going to be directing and going to be acting in that upcoming Lord of the Rings film, something about Gollum, something like that. And that was supposed to be in production around the same time as the Batman. So I guess there was concern. Will they be able to make it work? Can they get Andy Serkis in the role of Alfred? And it looks like they have gotten it figured out. But in addition to Serkis, obviously Robert Pattinson is back as Bruce Wayne Batman. Jeffrey Wright is back as Jim Gordon. Colin Farrell will be back as the Penguin. Barry Keoghan as Joker. So we are going to see Joker yet again. Even though it was very briefly in the first one, we're going to...
And the deleted scene as well.
Yeah, we're probably going to see more of him in this movie. So if we're sitting here thinking, and honestly, step back a little bit, people are saying, oh, we're going to see the Court of Owls. The Court of Owls are going to be the big bad. Well, we also have Joker. But then Sebastian Stan's Harvey Dent is going to be in this. Now,
which honestly, that's a perfect casting as Harvey Dent.
Yeah, it is a great casting for Harvey Dent. But is he just going to be Harvey Dent? Are we going to see him turn into Two-Face in this film? We don't know. As well as Scarlett Johansson has officially been confirmed to be in an undisclosed role in the film. So there's a lot of big names and moving pieces in this movie, for sure. You have the Penguin also. So you have Penguin, you have Joker, possibly the Court of Owls, maybe even Two-Face if they go that far into the Harvey Dent lore in this movie. It's really interesting to see what they're packing into this film. It could be great. Again, I'm not too optimistic because I didn't like the first one, but I'm curious. I am curious to see what they do with it. What else do you think?
I think that this is the man. Like, have you ever seen a movie called Eyes Wide Shut?
Yes, I have.
I think that's what he's gonna go for, something like that, like very realistic, very secret, society-ish, like that movie.
That would be very, very interesting. But maybe they go somewhat like that.
If it happens, but we don't know at this point until they actually start, releasing behind the scenes pictures and stuff, which starts in May, basically, what I've heard.
Well, I want to hear from all of you. Anybody who's listening, watching, whatever it is, let me know your thoughts in the comments about the Batman Part 2. What do you think the title of Semper Vigilance means? And what do you think about the villain? Do you think we're going to see the Court of Owls? How included do you think the Joker will be? Do you think Harvey Dent will become Two-Face in this film? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, over here, we have some people talking. The Last Relic does, how does Harvey Dent play in all this? They're cast a ton of characters for this one movie. Well, I mean, he's an attorney, so maybe they're going to have some kind of court case, and that's why he's brought in. Who knows? I don't know. Being that the Joker's there, hey, this is me just throwing this out there. The Joker we know was in prison. Maybe there's a trial that the Joker is going to be included on, and Harvey Dent is the one, on the
That's
other
a good
side.
theory.
I mean, you never know. I mean, that Harvey Dent, because he's not just Two-Face, he is an attorney. He does have a backstory within the lore. And if Scarlett Johansson, like you said, Last Relic, you say, I thought Scarlett Johansson was supposed to be Harvey Dent's wife. That's the rumor. That's the thought, that Scarlett Johansson is going to play the wife of Harvey Dent. Again, if Harvey has a big role in this, then it would make sense to have his wife cast as well. I just don't understand why you cast a Scarlett Johansson for what's essentially a small supporting role,
Right.
in my opinion. But who knows? Maybe that's where they go. And maybe there's a huge storyline that's around Harvey Dent and his wife. And
She might be the Talon.
that's a possibility. That's a possibility. It'll be interesting to see how they play it out, though. I definitely want to see what they pull off with this. Like I said, I'm curious about it. I don't have high hope that it's going to be great, because I don't know. I just wasn't being as big of a Batman fan as I am. I hate to say it. Like, I was not a fan of the Batman. So, well, we'll see. We shall see for sure. Let's see. Oh, that's not where I want. I want that over there. That's where I want that. Let's see. Last Relic says this. I think the only reason people want to watch this movie is because the Penguin was good. If we didn't get the Penguin show, I don't think I would care to see a gay vampire play Bruce Wayne. He was a gay vampire. I knew he was a vampire. I didn't know he was gay. But whatever. All right.
What's next?
Let's move on. Frank Grillo, a couple weeks ago, not a couple weeks, about a week ago, 7-8 days ago, confirmed Man of Tomorrow begins filming in 3 weeks. Now, he says 3 weeks left to dial it in for Superman Man of Tomorrow. Rick Flag has a lot of work to do this time around. And he's just kind of shown off he's ripped. He's ripped. Yeah, he's ripped. I mean, that's pretty much lining up with what everybody thought. We believed that it was going to start filming in April, May, sometime around there. And that's what seems to be happening. I think it's great news. I'm happy to see that things are moving as planned and on target like they wanted to. There's also a rumor that James Gunn is filming a jail sequence for Man of Tomorrow next week.
That would be awesome.
Which would kind of put them a little ahead of schedule from Frank Grillo, but that doesn't mean that Superman doesn't start shooting before Frank Grillo gets there. Remember, Frank Grillo's his call sheet may not be until 2 weeks after the film starts shooting. So, people got to remember that if this rumor is true, then it's starting to film within the next week, which is great and cool to see. It's the rumor also says it's going to be partially shot in a real prison, that they need over 100 extras. That's a lot of fun. I love when movies do that kind of thing. I remember when The Dark Knight Rises was being shot in Pittsburgh, which is where I'm from, and like I couldn't get out of work to be there. But if I could have gotten out of work, I would have been at Heinz Field at the stadium for just being an extra in the stands, just to be somebody to say, hey,
that was an awesome scene.
I was in the Batman movie, but I couldn't do it. They also needed extras from their prison break scene in The Dark Knight Rises. That was another day that I just couldn't get there. But that's the kind of thing that's so cool. I love whenever they just use extras and people from the community for these films. And I'm not just saying DC, I'm just saying any film in general. I think it's really cool. I think it's always a lot of fun. So yeah, this will be interesting to see what they do. Obviously, a prison break probably means that Lex Luthor is going to get broken out of prison for some reason, one reason or another, whether it's Superman breaking him out or who knows, but we'll see what happens there. What do you think about all this?
Well, that specific picture right there is from a certain arc, a certain storyline of Superman that's very famous, All-Star Superman. if they do anything specifically like that, I think a lot of people should be excited because it's one of the better moments in the book. But yeah, I mean, like, it's exciting to see. Like, it's cool to see people getting into, like, having the chance to go in as an extra, and I think more people should do it because it's like like, especially fans, like actual fans should definitely get the chance to be a part of a movie like this. So yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's just a lot of fun. I think that's what it comes down to. I just think it's fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Look, you have to make these types of movies events, and
Right.
it doesn't just start with when the movie is being marketed and coming out. It starts during production, and this is a way to make it an event for people to say, look, I was in this movie as an extra. I have to go see it. I have to tell my family about it. I have to tell my friends about it. Go check this out. I'm in this scene. And that's the kind of fun that you can have with it. So I'm all for it. I think it's great.
I mean, if it's being shot in Georgia, then heck, they might get 200 or 300 extras.
But let me know your thoughts, everyone, in the comments below about this, about Frank Grillo saying that it would be 3 weeks, which would put it around the end of April, or this rumor
Beginning of
saying
May.
it's starting here in the next week or so. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen? Love to hear what you have to say in the comments below. All right, guys. What else do we got over here? Jalen says, yeah, big names for big or small roles. Talking about Scarlett Johansson. Let's see. Jalen also says the Batman has a great story. It just needs to be a little more action or shorter. Definitely needs to be shorter.
That I can agree with.
Kept falling asleep through that thing. The Last Relic says, did you guys hear that they are doing reshoots with Superman and Lobo into Supergirl movie because the Supergirl movie isn't having any traction? So, okay. Here's what people need to understand. I'm not saying you don't understand this, Last Relic. I just want to make sure that it's understood. This isn't something to be worried about. They plan for this kind of stuff. That's why they do test screenings. That's why they sit down and watch the movie multiple times as a studio, because they want to make sure that everything flows, that it's edited right. And sometimes, yeah, they're going to add different pieces into the film. James Gunn did not have Man of Tomorrow written prior to Supergirl being written and being shot. So there could be instances where he's like, look, I want this to kind of lead into Man of Tomorrow. So maybe we do a pickup for this or for that. Adding Lobo makes sense. Jason Momoa is the biggest name in that movie. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. Now, is it worrisome that it's not getting quote unquote traction? No, I think it's got perfectly fine traction. I think it's doing fine, and people being curious. Again, this isn't Superman. This isn't Batman. This isn't Spider-Man. This isn't the Avengers. This isn't a movie that's supposed to make $800-900 million at the box office. And that's something that people just don't seem to grasp. They can't seem to understand that, hey, sometimes there's superhero films that are just supposed to make about $400 to $500 million, maybe $600 million. And that's fine. That's okay, especially in a universe that has just starting out, a universe that has the negativity and negative context around it from the DCEU and the old franchise. So the fact that, hey, this isn't tracking to open to 700 million, 800 million, that's fine. You know, I think that people need to understand, like, look, they're going to make the best movie that they can. And if they do pickups, if they do reshoots, if they do whatever you want to call it, additional photography, whatever they do, that's the artist making the best movie that they can make. Who cares what test audiences say? You should never take anything what test audiences say very seriously, because 1 minute you'll hear test audiences loved it. The next, they didn't like it. The next, they thought it was okay. Every test audience is different, and it's not even the final film. It's not the final version of the movie that will be put out. Wait till the final movie comes out, and that's going to tell the whole story. So for me, when you sit there and say, "Oh, they're adding Superman in, or they're adding Lobo in," okay, cool. I'm all for seeing more Lobo or seeing more Superman. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. Make the best movie you can, because you're judged on the final product. You're not judged on what you do prior to the final product. So that's the way I look at it. The Last Relic also says, not a fan of Superman movie. As Derpy knows, I thought it was trash. I hope that James Gunn gets his act together, though, and make Man of Tomorrow a really good movie, and hopefully a solo Superman movie. He says, I think if they reshoot, it means that they didn't believe 100% in their story. Iron Man didn't really have any good test screenings, but they believed in the story and didn't do reshoots. Again, every movie is different. And that doesn't mean that they don't believe in their movie. What you write on page doesn't always translate to the screen the same way.
Right.
You can sit there and read a script. I don't know, Last Relic, I don't know if you've ever sat down and read scripts for movies. I've read many scripts. That's one of my things I love to do, is just to go online and find old scripts and read the scripts. And a lot of times, what's that?
AKA they're called drafts.
Yeah, drafts. But they're a lot of times they're very different than what is on screen. And it's not because the director, the producers, the studio didn't believe in their story. Otherwise, they would not have greenlit the story. They wouldn't have greenlit that script if they didn't believe in it. The reason why it's different is because they realize when they're shooting this movie, hey, they need to edit it a different way. They need to add different scenes in there to make sure things make a little bit more sense or flow better. That's the reason why every movie, especially the big budget and the Superman and the comic book movie, Superman, superhero and comic book movies, they put in the budget the potential and possibility for additional photography and pickups. They do it all the time because it's not that they don't believe and trust in the script. It's that, hey, they know that there's a possibility that they're going to have to add things and adjust things and shift things around. Talking about Iron Man, I can't sit there and say the validity on whether they had pickups or not, or additional photography, but let's also not forget,
different time too.
It was a very different time. They had a very limited budget because nobody really thought, hey, who's going to watch an Iron Man movie? And Kevin Feige and them who were involved with it believed in it enough, and
nobody knew Iron Man.
They fought for it. Let's not forget that the studio didn't want Robert Downey Jr. They had to push and fight for Robert Downey Jr. because they believed in the actor, they believed in the story, they believed in the movie. And I mean, if you go back and watch it now, it's a great movie, but there are some flaws with that film that they probably could have and should have cleaned up before the movie came out. But again, limited budget, limited, possibilities just because of how the studio looked at it. So again, I get it. You didn't like Superman. You think that James Gunn's messing up that whole thing. Whatever, that's fine. You don't have to like every movie that James Gunn or a director or filmmaker makes. But I say sit back and wait till the movie comes out and judge it at that point in time.
James Gunn built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Last Hawk says, in terms of superhero movies, Marvel and DC, every time there has been reshoots, the movie never turned out good. That is 100% inaccurate. It is not every time, because every movie has pickups and reshoots. It's rare that movies don't have that, especially in the superhero genre. It is rare. I mean, you think that Infinity War and Endgame didn't have reshoots? You think that Civil War didn't have them? You think Winter Soldier? Like, look at the biggest and best Marvel movies. They all had reshoots. Spider-Man had reshoots. Those movies that have done billions of dollars and made huge impact on the audience have all had reshoots. Yeah, there are terrible ones that had reshoots also, but you can't say every time because that's not true.
Slav.
Yeah.
He's from Florida, just saying. He's never happy. Same goes for Texas.
Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. This is not a story, but I want to make sure everybody is aware. My book, The Snyder Effect: Modern Myth Making in the Age of Fan Scoops and Studio Chaos, is due to release.
That is a lie.
Next Monday, it releases on Amazon. You can go to
Amazon.
You can buy the book on Amazon. Actually, right now you can buy it digitally. It is available digitally. If you want to get the digital copy, the digital version, you can get it on Amazon now. But the physical copies, the paperback and the hardback, are coming out next Monday.
How fancy, Slav.
Oh, I know. I'm awesome.
Amazon. Ooh.
Yeah. But I say on Monday, get it. I'm hoping that some people, I know that there are some review copies out there for some big podcasters and things like that want to do some review, or hopefully going to do some reviews over the next couple days, maybe by the end of the week. I'm hoping. So we'll see. But yeah, there you have it. So I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that.
I can see it now. I can see it now, dude, with that book.
What's that?
With Aaron Fisher. This book is trash.
Well, I reached out to him and I asked if he wanted to get a review copy to review it, and he hasn't gotten back to me. So we'll see if he wants to get, because if he wants a review copy, I'm more than happy. Look, I want people who are content creators and things like that to get a copy, to read it, to then review it on their channels, just so that kind of information can get out there. And
do you have an estimate on how long the read would be?
I mean, it's like 170 pages.
Okay, that's not bad.
No. But yeah, I mean, for me, I think that if people actually give it a shot, they're going to realize it is completely unbiased. Like, I don't lean one way or the other in this book. It's pretty much laying out the entirety of what happened from not 2013, but from 2009 until the end of the DCEU and how we got to that. And it explains everything that happened within that time frame. Now, obviously, I don't get all of the facts in there, not the facts, but all of the information. Like, there's so much, and I know I'm going to miss things. And I know that there's some things that I just didn't know about and didn't find information about that some people may have. But the bulk of it, the biggest bulk of the information and what happened is in this book from start to finish, the DCEU, just explaining, hey, this is the start, this is the end, this is what the DCEU is, and this is why it failed. And yeah, it's all there. And whether people look, you can say, yeah, I think this is why I failed. There's multiple reasons in there. You can point to this or you can point to that. And that's kind of what the point of the book is. So, let's see. Emmanuel says the Snyder fandom won't entertain anything that doesn't align with their views. I'm excited to read the book though, Slav. Thank you. And honestly,
there we go.
It doesn't not align with their views. That's the thing. That's why I want someone like Aaron Fisher. I may even reach out to a couple other very negative minded people to say, hey, do you want to give this a shot? Because I want them to read it and realize, hey, Slav isn't kind of bashing anything. Like, he's laying out everything and telling the story of the DCEU.
You should give it to Tyra Magnus. He'll love it.
Bro, WTF is that video thumbnail talking about super gay? Like, WTF? What are you talking about?
Huh?
I have no idea what he's talking about. I don't know, man. Over on the side here. Is there something on the side here?
Yeah.
Superman entrance.
Who is that?
That's just super moron.
Oh, it's a podcast. It's a
Crowder.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Not Emmanuel. The Last Relic said, did this Supergirl trailer excite you guys for the movie, or did you just like seeing Lobo? Yeah, I mean,
I loved all of it.
We're going to talk about the teaser or the trailer right now, actually.
Bet.
Because I didn't get a chance to do a reaction to it last week, but I do want to talk about it. And it was a solid trailer. I think it was a solid trailer. I mean, I like how it starts off. You get a shot of Supergirl and Crypto, and just a little bit of discussion with Superman and Kara. People freaking out that Kara's calling him Clark, I think, is kind of ridiculous, because what Clark has decided is that he is Clark, and I'm sure he would tell his cousin, hey, start calling me Clark, or make sure you call me Clark, or something like that. Like he would be okay if she called him Cal, whatever. But I'm sure he was just like, look, I'm an I'm an Earthling. I'm a human. Like, call me or Clark, not Cal. But people freaking out about that, I think, are ridiculous. They really are. But I mean, seeing these little bits of the movie, this looks like the moment where she gets blasted off from Krypton before it's destroyed. Yeah,
blasting off again.
I mean, her saying home is wherever you are, buddy, and it looks like she's talking to Crypto. We get another shot of Crypto and her. Again, this just looks like fun. It looks.
I love how he's sitting on her lap.
Yeah. Oh, everything about Crypto is great. even eating cereal. Like, come
Eating
on.
cereal. Come on. How can you not love it? You're a dog lover.
What I love about the trailer is the first 45 seconds, 50 seconds is
Yeah.
showing her relationship with Crypto and
Right.
showing that, hey, this is her family right now. This is what she looks at as her family. She doesn't have a home. She doesn't feel comfortable on Earth. She doesn't feel comfortable, just as herself. Like, she hasn't accepted what has happened to her. So that way, the moment this happens in the trailer, when
Which is very much a spoiler.
I mean, is it though? I
If
mean,
you haven't read it,
if
if
you
you
haven't
haven't read the book.
but I mean, this is essentially what happens in the book, where he actually shoots Crypto, and Crypto is dying, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I think that for me, like, this makes sense. And then Ruthie being there, she has a mission on her own. And the only reason why Supergirl decides, I think, to really pursue and work with her is because she wants to save Crypto. But that relationship is what's going to build her character and develop her into being, hey, I'm more than just me and Crypto. I love Crypto. Crypto is my family, but it's more than that. This universe, this galaxy needs me. And I think that's kind of what this movie is going to be about. And I'm looking forward to it. And you're going to have that impactful and that heartfelt
Poor
moment
baby.
with her and Crypto. And then you're going to get some great action sequences, I think. I mean, there's some great things that I've seen, and then Lobo and things like that. Like, there's some just pretty fun moments in this trailer that makes me sit here and think that this is going to be a fun summer blockbuster movie. Again, do I expect it to make $1 billion? No, but
I
this
have a
movie
question though,
is
Slav.
supposed to be like that. What's that?
Wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy a fun movie?
Well, yeah.
Then why are we complaining about Guardians of the Galaxy, huh, folks?
Look, I don't know.
Certain audience, how are we complaining about it?
People have to rewrite history. You get some amazing shots.
That's a cool
Supergirl.
shot, dude.
And there's a lot more color in this. Like, yeah, I get that there's moments of this.
I love that line though.
But
That says revenge, you won't take your pain away. I love that line, dude. I love that line for her.
and it looks like she's poisoned here.
Yeah.
Well, so again, there's a lot of this trailer, and then you get the shot that's very reminiscent of Superman in the Superman movie. There's just some amazing moments in this, and then you have the little bit here between Lobo and her. It's fun. I like the trailer. I think it's a really good trailer. It's a solid trailer. Showed it to my kids. My kids liked it. They're excited for the movie, and that's all you need. You're not trying to push for $1 billion. If the movie's that great and people go see it and repeat, it could make that much.
Right.
But again, you have to remember that studios have an idea. They sit down and they say, okay, what could this movie logically make? Well, all right, we're going to give you a budget of $100 million, $125 million to make it. We believe that it can easily make $400 to $500 million. If it makes more than that, great. If it makes less than that, not great. But they have they have their own goal made, and that's something that people just can't grasp. They have this whole idea that, oh, every movie needs to make $1 billion. It needs to make $800 million, $900 million, or it's a flop, failure. No, it's not how it works. It's not how it works, and it's never worked that way. So, for me, I just think that people need to calm down a little bit. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Coming back.
What you think about the Supergirl trailer. Yeah.
I loved it, man.
Let's see here. I gotta make sure. I don't know if this is gonna work.
I saw that it's coming back in the background.
Yeah. Let me see. I might have to.
Are we talking about a specific universe here, or a crybaby universe with abs on the front of our Superman?
Let's see here. Let me see.
And mothers with the same name and cry about it when they speak their name. Universe.
So this here is from Kevin Smith's podcast called Fat Man.
He doesn't even look like Kevin Smith.
He's lost a lot of weight, man.
And that's what I mean. He's not Kevin Smith to me, man.
Old. Anyways, so Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin have a show called Fat Man Beyond where they talk about comics. They basically do the same thing I do here, just on their own little show. And well, here's what Kevin Smith had to say.
Snyder kids might fucking have their dreams come true, man.
I know they might have their chance to all over the face, neck, and chest of Green Lantern.
But I mean, in a world where this Paramount and Warner Brothers, thing is moving forward, it looks like the merger, we may see the Snyderverse come back to life.
Who knows? Nobody knows anything anymore.
I wouldn't
There are no rules.
I wouldn't discount it.
Okay, so obviously, obviously, everybody lost their. Not everybody, the Snyder fandom lost their minds for this. Kevin Smith said that it could come back with Paramount taking over. Now, like I said weeks ago, the best chance for the Snyderverse to come back was Netflix. 100%. The best chance for it to come back was Netflix. Paramount buying Warner Brothers and them taking over. Is there a chance for it? Sure. There's a chance for anything to happen. But let's logically think about this, okay? Paramount is going to come in and they're going to want things to go as smooth as possible. And they're not going to sit down immediately and say, let's go, let's get the Snyderverse restored right now, this and that. Like, that's not, like, some people are acting like that's what this means. They believe that it's going to just be restored like that.
Right.
And that's not what it means, not at all.
You sure he wasn't trolling? It was April 1st.
I think it was actually recorded the night before, so it wasn't.
Okay.
Now, does that mean that we won't get it? No. Again, anything is possible in today's world.
Best option is an animation because they cannot. I mean, none of those actors are gonna come back and want to put on those costumes again. Maybe except regardless of Gal Gadot in Henry Cavill, those two are the only ones I would say that want to put on those costumes. But like everybody else, they are not going to come back.
It's very, very controversial.
And the best way they probably will come back is probably through voicing them.
Yeah, I mean, it's very controversial for sure for a lot of them to come back. But some people even sit there and they're acting like, let's see here. Come on,
it's going to happen overnight. Right?
Well, because Paramount and Skydance has secured their money from Saudi Arabia, they believe that the Snyderverse is basically a thing. First off, Saudi Arabia, they stated none of these backers will have any say in the way that things are produced. Is that true? Or are they just saying that to get through the regulators? Who knows? But here's the thing. Okay. Yes. There's the Saudi Arabian prince or whatever likes Zack Snyder and they want him to do this, whatever. Okay. Just because he likes it doesn't mean that it's going to happen.
Right.
I don't know how to explain it any other way. Look, okay. Had Netflix officially won and it would be moving forward, I would sit there and say, yeah, I think it's going to happen because I think they're just going to put it on streaming. I that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought with Netflix, that's probably the way it's going to go. But now with Paramount, the way I look at it is this. You have James Gunn, the DCU, the DC studios running and moving things. I know a lot of people think that David Ellison's going to come in and fire James Gunn or James Gunn's going to quit, what have you. Let's say that happens. You think they're just going to abandon the DCU? They're not.
No.
They'll just bring somebody else in to continue the DCU. Well, then they could continue the Snyderverse in Elseworlds, couldn't they? Sure. They could continue it in Elseworlds. But the amount of money that they have to put into it, they're not going to want to have two DC universes going at the same time, especially one that is proven to be a failure. Again, people, the DCEU, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller, Aquaman, Jason Momoa's Aquaman, they have proven that that universe is a failure. Yeah, but Slav, not with Zack Snyder. I get that. But let's step back for a second and realize this here, okay? 99% of the audience doesn't know or give a shit who Zack Snyder is.
Right.
They see the actors on screen. They see Henry
That's what they care about.
Jason Momoa. They see Gal Gadot. And they see those characters on screen. They don't care if it's Zack Snyder that made it. They don't care if it's Christopher Nolan or Denis Villeneuve or whomever. Like, they don't care about directors. That is 99% of the audience in this world, people. They don't care who the director is. So if those actors, those characters failed in your universe before, and it's because nobody cared about them, what makes you think they're going to care now? Because you can't sit there and say, oh, because Zack Snyder's directing it, because 99% of the people don't care. Like, that's the thing. So they're not going to spend millions and millions of dollars on something that they know and they have proof doesn't work. Now, the DCU, it's building. It's slowly building. If when Man of Tomorrow comes out, if they're not getting closer to $1 billion with their movies, sure, I could see them saying, you know what? It's not working. Let's scratch this. Let's go back to the drawing board. That's a possibility. Is it going to happen? No, I don't see that happening. But that is a possibility. But you don't keep going back to the well of something that doesn't work. You just don't. Look, I love the Snyderverse. I love what Zack Snyder was building. But I'm one of the 1% that knows who Zack Snyder is. I'm one of the 1% who understands that Zack Snyder's vision is not the same as the full DCEU. I get that. But 99% of the audience doesn't know, nor do they give a shit. So that's why it's not going to happen. That's why it's less likely to happen. Let's put it that way. That's why it is less likely to happen than actually happen. What do you think?
I think you put it right on point. Right on. Nobody will care about. Nobody cares, like you said, that it's Zack Snyder. Nobody cares about the director. They're just, and basically, they only care about what the actors, basically, I guess. But
yeah.
If this is the outcome of what's going forward, it's useless, basically. It's a useless waste of time and waste of money.
Yeah, basically that's what it is. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Look, it could happen. Anything can happen. I've come to that conclusion that anything can happen at this point. But I think that the chance of it happening under Paramount is less than it would have been with Netflix.
They're cheaper than Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, they are cheaper than Netflix. And remember, people who sit there and
I meant like from spending.
Yeah. And the one thing that people seem to, and they've kind of gotten off this a little bit, but they sit there and act like, oh, James Gunn is a liberal, so David Ellison hates him. That's why he's going to fire him. Then why would they hire another liberal in Zack Snyder?
Right,
right. Thing that people don't seem to grasp and understand, and they make these claims, they make these stupid remarks, and it's ridiculous. Is what it is. But let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Do you think the Snyderverse will come back? Do you think Kevin Smith is right? Look, people think Kevin Smith is right because he knows Ben Affleck. Okay, so
yeah,
whoop-de-doo. There's a lot of people that know Ben Affleck. Kevin Smith is the only one that's saying anything dumb like this. So, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right, there's some comments back from Talking Supergirl we got to get to get caught up here. Last Relic says, I'll be surprised if this movie, talking about Supergirl, makes up to 250 million. Guy, it's going to make more than that. It's going to make 4, 5.
I would say 4 or 5. Yeah.
I'd say 450 to 550 is my guess. But
yeah,
it says, I say this movie makes 500 million, even though it's sandwiched between Toy Story and Minions. Neither one are going to affect this movie as much as you think.
Right.
Supergirl is, for one, an older audience, 2, more skews a little more towards women for sure, but it's the comic book genre audience.
Right.
People love Toy Story. I think people love Toy Story,
But
people
it's so overdone.
so people will see it. But let's not forget, Toy Story comes out the week before. So people who want to see Toy Story are going to go see it that weekend. The next weekend, if people want to see Supergirl, they'll see Supergirl. If they don't, then they don't. It's that simple. Toy Story isn't going to be the reason that the people who don't want to see Supergirl don't see it. And then 2 weeks later, or almost 2 weeks later, when Minions comes out, who cares? Like Minions, yeah, that's a big franchise also. But again, people who have wanted to see Supergirl will have already seen it. And Minions, again, they'll go see Minions. And hey, maybe they make a double header and they see 2 movies that weekend. Who knows? But again, this is a lot to do about nothing, just like Superman was last year between Jurassic World and Fantastic Four. Because yes, Jurassic World, we always knew was going to come out the top dog in that. We all knew that. We all knew that it was going to be the top dog in that. But Fantastic Four didn't match what Superman made. It didn't. I mean, so yeah, this is very similar in that, right? We know Toy Story is going to be the top dog out of those 3. We just know it's going to happen. I mean, it is what it is. It's Toy Story. Minions, I'm sure will make good money. I'm sure it's going to do well.
It ain't going to make Supergirl or Toy Story money, I'll tell you that.
I think it'll make more than Supergirl, but again, it's not. The battle isn't against those other films, and that's something that people they just can't grasp. They can't understand that. Look, when they put a movie out there, it's not Supergirl against Toy Story, Supergirl against Minions. It's
companies.
Supergirl. It's Supergirl. Just hey, how good can Supergirl do? Is Supergirl a good enough movie to make money? Because if it is, it's going to make money. That's all it is. It's not Supergirl against Spider-Man this year. It's not Supergirl against Doomsday this year. It's not what it is. It's how good is Supergirl? Will it do well? And that's all it is. People just love this whole battle and this idea that, oh, these movies fight and they fight to the death. And that's not what it is.
No.
It's getting to the point where people just need to understand, like, they put this movie out in June because they didn't want it to be in the bogged down July. They knew July was going to be bogged down with Odyssey, with Spider-Man, and everything else. So they put it in June, the end of June. They put it there because they believe it's going to be successful, regardless of Toy Story and Minions being there. They believe in the movie. They believe it'll be successful. They had plenty of time to move it if they didn't think it would be successful there. The Last Relic says the movie needs to make 3 to 4 times its budget. If it makes less than that, then it's a financial failure. False.
False.
All you do is you take the budget, which is rumored to be about $125 million. You take the marketing, which is probably going to be another 75-ish million. About that. Put that together. So you're looking at $200 million marketing and production. And then you times that by 1.5. 1.5 is the goal. That's it. So it needs to make, what is that then? 400, 450, 500. Like once you get to that point, it's going to be profitable.
Right.
Like, it doesn't need to make 3 or 4 times its budget. That's not how it works. That's not how any movie works. All movies, unless it's like Avatar, whenever they way overspent on Avatar, but typical blockbuster films like this, you want to see 1.5 times more than the budget and marketing together. That's what you want to see. Emmanuel says, "Oh my God, Kevin Smith confirmed Snyderverse restored." The last Relic says, "Only actors I would care about coming back is Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. Jason Momoa is already Lobo, so he's out, and everyone else suck or terrible casting."
That's true. That's true. I'll give him that.
Kick Knowledge Smith says Kevin Smith is just giving the safe anything is possible answer. YouTube some are running with it as confirmation. Yeah, again, you can't run with confirmation. I agree with the sentiment that anything is possible because yes, anything is possible. But I would say that it is a very, very
baby possible.
Yeah, not like some are saying like, oh, it's happening. It's a thing. Last Relic says we might get a DC film universe and DC TV universe. It's a possibility. The problem with that is that it could, if James Gunn stays on, that would kind of hurt him because he's building a universe using TV and movies. Could we get a streaming film universe? Maybe. But I still don't think that's a possibility. I think the best way for the Snyderverse is animation. I really do. Kick Knowledge Smith says, yeah, why do people think it will automatically be Snyder if Gunn was to leave? Because that's what they think. That's what people want to think. Last Relic says they have 2 universes going, Batman Part 2 and DCU. Yes, they do. And actually, they're going to have a third one. Or actually, they already have a third one with animation. You know, my Adventures of Superman. That universe is going on too. Kick Knowledge, or they could course correct if things go sideways like the MCU. Why do people think firing Gunn would be the answer? Because they don't like him for some reason, which nobody can really say why they don't like him. They just don't like him. Exactly. Okay, where did this hate for James Gunn come from? Nobody knows. I ask it all the time. Nobody really knows. Kick for Knowledge, it'd be crazy if Supergirl makes more than Superman. I think some are underestimating it. We shall see. I said that it has the potential to equal what Superman made. So like that 620-ish around there. I think it has the potential to hit that, but I think it's going to make less. Again, we'll see. Once tracking starts to come out within the next month or so, then we'll have a better estimation on what it could be. Jalen says, I do wish studios would give movies more space from each other. Whoops, hit the wrong button. Give more space from each other. Like, it's crazy that so many blockbuster movies are so sandwiched together. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people go to the movies in the summer. From May to like September, people go to movies. Then you have that outlier like Christmas time, people go to movies. Thanksgiving, people go to movies. But for the most part, your dead season is like January, October. And I won't say dead season, but you don't really put out your big blockbuster hits. That's more like October to December is typically like, hey, this is when I want to get out our award-worthy movies. And that's where they put their award push movies out. Then January, February are typically like, hey, these are movies that we think will do okay. They're not going to do great, but we'll put them out then because they would just get eaten alive in the summer. And that's why you see a lot of things clumped up in the summer because of that reason. If they spread things out more, could that work better? Maybe. I don't know. Like there's been successful films in January and February in the past. So you take a look at like Deadpool, the first Deadpool and the second Deadpool in February did fantastic. Joker was October, I think, when Joker came out. That did really well. You'll see that from time to time, but it's not something that the studios like to do. I don't know why, but it's just not. Jalen says, I thought you don't add the marketing to the budget. So there is a belief, and I look at it like this. I look at if you take the budget, then you add 2 or you times it 2, either 2 or 2.5 times the budget to be profitable. If you add in the marketing, then you take that down to 1 to 1.5, times that the budget. So now what people don't understand is the way marketing works is we're going to take Warner Brothers, for instance, and we're just going to, this is a very rough explanation, but this is kind of how it works. By January 1st of every year, again, this is just a rough explanation. They have decided how much marketing will be for their movies for the entire year. So from January to the end of December, they know, okay, we're going to spend $4.5 billion on marketing across all of our movies, television, everything. So they take that and then they will divvy that money to which films and productions and things like that they believe need marketing. And some will get less, some will get more, some will be the big push, that kind of thing. So basically, that marketing money is not technically being spent by the film. It's being spent by the studio, if that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining it well. So while that marketing is there, the studio is able to write that off at the end of the year. And they'll write that off. They get a tax break on that. So realistically, as $100 million marketing may only cost them $60 million in marketing because of the write-off. And that comes from the studio, not directly the production of the movie. So that's why some people will sit there and say, you don't take the marketing into consideration. However, the studio still wants to make the money back on that marketing. So that's why some people still sit there and say, oh, let's add the marketing into it, because the studio still wants to make that money back as well. So that's kind of how it works, if that makes sense. Jalen says, I don't know budget and profit and box office talk is so freaking weird and something not fun to talk about at all. Well, sorry about that. It says marketing is supposed to be part of budget and studios expect profitability, but it's not a consistent product and business that has one-time product expectations, above 200% return on investment. All right. The last article says the hate from James Gunn came from him lie constantly in making badly written movies and shows. First off, you're rewriting history there. Okay. You're rewriting history on making badly written movies and shows. Peacemaker was a massive success. That first season, everybody loved it. Guardians 1, 2, 3, people love. What was Slither? People loved.
The 2021 Suicide Squad.
2021 Suicide Squad, people loved. Did it make a big box office? No, but there were reasons for that. So to sit there and act like he's not a good writer, not a good filmmaker, that is just astronomically incorrect.
Not to mention he did the Scooby-Doo movies.
Yes, he wrote the Scooby-Doo movies. And then you say that he lies constantly. Again, here's the thing. When a director or filmmaker says a quote-unquote lie about a movie that he's making, I don't look at that as a lie. I look at that as he's trying to preserve the spectacle for when the movie comes out. So to act like he's a liar, I think is ridiculous, because all filmmakers do it. Zack Snyder is one of the biggest one that does it. So again, I'm not saying you're a Zack Snyder fan. I'm just saying, like, every filmmaker does that. They twist the truth and the narrative around when it comes to movies. So who cares if he lies a little bit here and there? Like, it's so ridiculous.
Everybody lies, dude.
Mad Max says, what about
we have a president right now?
I don't know what you're talking about, Mad Max.
I'm just kidding.
Mad Max. Casey Bloys admitted HBO Max inflated Peacemaker numbers and used bots to promote season 1. Whatever. I remember that discussion about the whole bots thing, but who cares? It was still, you can't use bots to get a critic and audience. Well, I guess you can get audience score from bots, but critic scores and things like that aren't utilized by bots. The discussion around it is not bots. People, they love to make up things and pushing narrative. It's ridiculous. Mad Max says the DCU slate was a lie. First off, it wasn't a slate.
It was just announced projects.
It was announced. It wasn't even announced projects. It just said, these are the things that we're working on. Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. These are the things we're working on. He didn't make a slate. He didn't say this comes out then, this one comes out then, this comes out.
That is true.
This comes out then. That's a slate. That's saying, hey, here's movies are coming out in this order, and they're officially coming out. No, he was showcasing, like, look, we're making this thing called Gods and Monsters. We're going to take a look at Batman, Superman, Supergirl, we're Swamp Thing, who's a big monster. Got a great idea from what's his face, the guy who made Logan. I can't remember his name now. Whatever.
Michael Flanagan?
No. For Swamp Thing, I can't remember. But it wasn't a lie. It was all projects that they were in the middle of working on in early production, early development. And they had to say something. If he didn't say anything, all of you would be pissed off and complaining about it. But he said something, and you guys are still bitching and complaining. It's ridiculous. It really is. Don't waste time arguing with Snyder cultists. Blood Ocean. Anyone working on film directly is tightly lipped because of NDAs. They're not lying. Emmanuel said, didn't Snyder announce a bunch of movies that never happened at DC Fandom? Not Snyder, no.
No. But he did announce a bunch of projects that did never happen, just not on DC fandom.
Well, it wasn't even him that announced it. It was Warner Brothers and Jeff Johns.
Right.
2016 at the dawn of the Justice League thing hosted by Kevin Smith, ironically. He was they announced a bunch of projects that never came to fruition. A bunch of them did, though. So, I mean, you can also look at it that way. Last Talk says, no one's rewriting history. James Gunn wrote really good movies and wrote bad ones, and I hope he gets his act together. He has the talent, but lately he's written bad movie shows, deserves the criticism. It's all subjective, though.
Right.
Like, I liked Superman. Did I think it was the greatest thing ever? No, but I liked Superman. I liked Peacemaker season 1 and season 2. Season 1 was better than 2. Season 2 had a bad ending. That's all people remember is the ending of that show. They forget that the first, 7, 8 episodes, or how many episodes it was, were great.
Yeah.
They just remember that final episode. Let's see. What else has he done that's been bad? Guardians 3 was great. I think Guardians 3 was the second best of the Guardians. Honestly, Suicide Squad was a lot of fun. It was a really, really fun movie. I don't understand where this is coming from. James Mangold, that's it, Jalen. Thank you.
James Mangold, yes.
Kick Knowledge is based on reviews. Everything Gunn made was well received. Indeed, it was. It was indeed. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap things up, though. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for watching. Remember, next Monday, let's pull it up here again real quick. Next Monday, my book, The Snyder Effect, comes out on Amazon. It talks about the history and not just the history, but the whole conception to the death of the DCEU and how it happened. So, yes, next Monday on Amazon. I will be posting it like crazy. So, yeah, pick it up. You can buy it digitally today. It's out digitally right now. Physical copies come out on Monday. So, yes, there's that.
Get it now or you'll become Aaron Fisher.
Where can people find you, Derpy?
Here on YouTube, Derpy Entertainment. Twitch, Derpy_Entertainment. Instagram, Derpman2929. Twitter, formerly Twitter, X, Derpman2929. And Kick Random Derpster.
Okay, excellent. And you guys can find me here on YouTube or on X at /FreeTalk. Remember, go find Bridging the Geekdoms as well. That show is coming back, and you'll start seeing new episodes of that podcast from me and my buddy Colton starting this week. But with all that said, guys, thanks for watching and stopping by. With all that said, I'll catch you all later.